Alright, welcome everybody. The year is 1778 and we're about to begin representing this beautiful and noble battle in between the 13 colonies, the Continental Army, and of course the British troops. We're in the Battle of Monmouth and we were gonna be living this experience, taking the decisions as we go. So in a couple of minutes we're just gonna see and experience how these troops felt. And of course we're ready to begin. Charles Lee has already left the battlefield some moments ago. And of course the troops of Washington, of George Washington, are now in the field, ready to follow the British wherever they go. They're heading towards New York, but we now believe this is the right moment to intercept them, so of course we hope to honor these stories and the history. So let's begin. The setting is the following. We're located in two hills. Originally the two armies got splitted, and Washington created also sort of a division. So in the West Hill I have some troops with an artillery unit aiming to the center of the field. That's where the British troops are going to be coming in. And in the East Field, in the East Hill, we're going to be having some more dense units so that we can defend the firepower. We're ready to go. We expect to honor these men. And of course, this is going to be quite an adventure, if I'm honest. Okay, so from the other side of the hill we got the British Army. Of course, they're not happy. They're in retreat at this moment. The Continental Army was just starting to become like a bit more professional as they were getting more and more experience. So we're just gonna be careful. We're gonna watch them move their units probably towards the center. We're gonna hold the position in the fields where we are waiting. But of course, our cannons and our artillery are just going to start to fire. I think the middle of the field. So let's go, guys. Let's fire those cannons up. And of course, in the other side of our rivals was commanded by Sir Henry Clinton. They were kind of moving towards New York, but Washington saw an opportunity to attack and just take advantage of the situation, so that was a really interesting position. Attack the enemy when it's retreating. I think that's a good strategy. And of course, at the end of the battle, we're going to be discussing the outcome. For now, our cannons, both of our cannons in both hills, are hitting the center of the field. We're just gonna be cautious. I usually do not engage the general unit. It was like a code back in that time. They usually never attack in between generals, so we're just gonna keep that honor. Of course, they're gonna attack mine. So, but only if that comes to become like reality, we'll just strike them back. Our troops are waiting. As we speak, I have created this sort of like castle. We got several hills. One of our artillery units, it's up the mountain, so it's gonna have like this elevated angle to receive to engage with the firepower. Right? There's a unit that it's coming our way, so we're still ready. We're still prepared. Everyone is waiting their turn. We're gonna need to see where all the units are starting to head. We're receiving some charges toward the west field, so let's be ready for that. And let's be careful as well. My cannons are in front of my infantry units, but they're kind of elevated, so it's not a big deal because the big bullets are gonna be going on top of our heads. So that's always a good idea. Keep the cannons in an upper level from your infantry, as I would say. There are many units moving towards this end. There's a cavalry unit moving down here. Let's just get prepared. We're gonna move in squares, just protecting at least this position. I think we're safe for the moment. It seems like the east heel, the west heel is just gonna be receiving more and more enemy units. I'm just gonna send some backup right there, but not too much. Still, we have the advantage. I have a unit down there, so okay, guys, let's start rolling. Some of them can fire a bit longer, so that's also a good advantage. But it seems like we're gonna be receiving the enemy in two fronts. And as I said, those were the bullets from our cannons just behind us. So let's keep our head down. British army is getting closer. And of course, this was a battle that extended like for about several hours. It was really long battle, but of course, for obvious reasons, we're not gonna take that much time. Okay, let's be ready. We have 3 units. There is also cavalry on our side in the middle of the field. We are ready to engage if that's necessary. And of course, this is the crucial part. When we encounter the enemy front to front, that's the way they used to fight back in the 1800th century. So let's keep it calm, let's keep it simple, guys. Let's focus on the task. Let's defend the hill. That's the only thing we can do. Of course, I'm monitoring through the map. We're getting some fire on the west side. I'm gonna send some backup here, and I'm gonna leave 2 units in the center. It's also time to leave our units, our cavalry units, ready to go. All right, watch out! The general it's heading towards us, so if necessary, we're gonna form in a square. Yeah, that's the antidote against cavalry. Always, you would need to form in squares. And now the enemy is trapped in between our two units. Everyone's heading towards the center, so we're just gonna abandon positions here. We managed to restore fire. We're gonna move fast. We need to move fast because the enemy's on the west side of the hill. Yeah, I thought most of the enemy allies were gonna be moving towards the east, but maybe they saw this hill a bit more unprotected. So yeah, we're just gonna have to again re-engage our lines and move our troops back to that position. Remember, every time you see these green little spots is where the units are gonna be lying down. Okay. Yeah, see how they kneel to reload while the lines in the back start firing. That was interesting, you know. It shows how efficient these armies were and the experience that the Continental Army was gaining throughout the battles. Because of course, when they started fighting the British, it was just like a new army, and now they were just understanding the game and how to defeat one of the greatest empires that ruled the earth. And of course the emancipation process was really complicated. We're still aware of the situation up here. We're gonna let go the squares. We're just gonna trap our enemy like in a sandwich. We got our infantry line headed in from the east. We're just gonna start moving some troops from the west. Come on, guys. Watch out, the general, it's also approaching here, so remember, always in front of the cavalry, you want to be forming in squares. Same here, our cavalry, I think it's really exposed, and we have some backup coming in from the other side. see the cavalry going through the other side, but I think we're having good results. As long as we can trap the enemy in the middle of the field, I think we can have good results. But of course, situation up here is still really delicate. Although we have the high ground, the enemy is still approaching against us. Come on. Let's trap the enemy. It's now where we want it. In the middle of the ground. Okay, it's time for a cavalry charge. I'm gonna aim to hit them from one of their sides. Okay, you always want to charge against the enemy if you're heading towards an infantry line through one of their sides or through the rear. Okay, so our troops are now moving towards the center. Now we finally meet the both sides of the army that were in different hills in the opposite directions. So honestly, I think it was a really interesting battle. You know, although there was not like a clear outcome at the end of the day. At the end, in terms of history, both armies just went back to their original position and they just moved on. You know, there was not a clear winner or a clear loser. Of course, here we did a great job. We put the enemy in the middle of our two infantry lines, so that's also good. But of course, the purpose of this video and of this battle is always to represent the courage of the 13 colonies, the Continental Army, and with that being said, we honor those men who fall in that battle. And of course, this was just one of the small steps towards the north, heading towards New York. The armies were understanding something important, and they already understood their enemy and how that was the like this is a Chinese concept from the art of war. Like, you have to know your enemy if you want to win. And of course, after many battles, this was the only outcome. So we honor these men, and of course, narrating for you, Imperbox. See you in the next battle. Great job, everyone.